What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. I've been promising you all this video, but I finally got a chance to make it. This is my WWE Hasbro collection. Now, you'll notice I do have the newer ones up top, the re-releases of the Hasbros, and you'll see there. But they're on top there. Try to keep them separate for the most part, but they're on top there. We'll go review each one of these. I'll show them to you here down here, but you can see down. Let me zoom out. You can see the whole collection. Now I am missing a few as well. This is not the complete set. This is just my collection. This I'm also there. Those in there are most of also repeats. Some doubles that I had, and then we'll walk through each one of them as well as how I have them set up. But yeah, let's get started. So on that first row there, you'll see The Rock along with Sting, Mankind. You got Kane. And then in the background, that's the new release as well. The retro ring with the one with they're promoting AJ Styles on it. He's in the front of the cover there. Well, along with others as well. But I believe I have those. So one of the things with me, again, if you haven't been a fan of this channel or you haven't seen other videos, I really like to collect the retro ones, the old school figures, the old school wrestlers as well, but without excluding some of the newer ones like AJ. I do have Finn Balor. I like those as well, so I collect them, but not so much of the New Day. I do have some Mattel of New Day, but not so much of them. So then continue, we got Stone Cold, you got Triple H, you got Taker. That is the original old school one. These three as well, the original. When I say old school, I mean like the original Hasbro releases, and they do feel a little bit different, a little lighter, more plastic, I would say. This one does have rubbery on it, a little more durable. So moving down to the second row. So here we are in the second row. Now, one of the things that you notice, I don't know if you can see here or not, is that Razor Ramon, one of his hands is broken off, but it still does the job, so I keep him on there. And then also Roddy Piper, Hot Rod. You got Hacksaw Jim Duggan's. Oh. And then obviously these are two-time greats. Heartbreak Kid. And then we got the Canadian wrestler, the best in the world, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. You got Bret the Hitman Hart. And then behind there, also forgot to mention, I do have some of the Galoobs on there. The ones in the back, that's I think Scott Steiner, or it's Rick Steiner in the back there. And then we have the Rey Mysterio, and in the back of him is gonna be that Rey Mysterio, I think, is from the Toy Biz. It came with WCW. I think they love to promote that, so that's where that Rey Mysterio is from. Also, if you notice on the back of each on the back of the figures there, I posted the original Hasbro, I guess the packaging that it came in with. So I bought this off of eBay, and the seller sent to me all the original packaging that the Hasbro figures that he had came in as well. So what I did was I laminated them, and then I put them in the back there. That's awesome to read kind of the figures in display. I try to keep them as far as consistent, align them with the Macho Man, Macho King there. But most of them all didn't fit. As you'll see here, I had to have more, but eventually when I'll get around posting it. Continue on. You got Madness, the Macho Man. This is his WCW days. And then behind him, you got Earthquake. And then you got British Bulldog, one of the all-time favorites wrestlers as well. Just overall figure, this is great. And then you got the Big Boss Man there. I do have a couple Big Boss Men. But that one back there, I put it back there is because one of his hands also broken. This is the third row actually. So with this one here, I have the Macho Man. That's the actual original Hasbro figure. I don't think they made a re-release one here. So I do have a couple Macho Man, or Hulk Hogan, I'd say. There's a Hulk Hogan. Then right behind him we have Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Another Dead Man Undertaker. Another Rey Mysterio, also from the Toy Biz. And then right behind me is the Galoob. I don't know if you remember what I was talking about. That's the WCW version of kind of the Hasbros. They were kind of putting out to compete with the Hasbros for WWE. This is a very nice Big Boss Man here. He does have his nightstick with him. This is one of the complete ones that I have. I have others that are complete as well, not Big Boss Man necessarily, but other Hasbro figures. But this is one of my favorite ones. And then you got the $1 Million Man back there. I do have a couple of him. You notice. I believe on some I did actually have the belt with him as well. And then you got Andre the Giant. That's a big figure. I believe they made him a pretty good size for. He's big, just like the Undertaker as well. But you know he's pretty good size for him. And then we got again Macho King Randy Savage, the Heart Foundation, Jimmy the Anvil, Sid Vicious along with the Tonka back there, Jake the Snake Roberts, and then the Honky Tonk Man. I enjoy collecting these as well. My favorite series, the Hasbros. So moving on, actually now we're on to the fourth row here. Moving on to the fourth one. So this is the fourth one here. We got the Ric Flair, also Gloob, and then actually right behind him, I do want to put this right behind Hornswoggle as one of my favorites as well. I didn't know who he was until somebody told me, "Oh, you got him." Let me pull him out of the way. Actually, we'll put him to the side here. We got. If you know him, let me know. I know you know him. You have to know him. I won't say it because I wanted y'all to say if you know who he is. And then we have the Giant Gonzalez. Worst costume ever. He's just creepy. But I'm glad they kind of changed the format of here for the Hasbros. Obviously, it's not like that. He was that brown spot was covered all over his body. It was just weird looking. Look him up if you know what I mean. And then we got LOD, Legion of Doom, one of the best tag teams. And then we have the Bushwhackers. Moving on, this is another complete set here. We have the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat. Then another one of those figures, Sheamus. Then right behind Sheamus, we have Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Ted DiBiase. Then you got Ultimate Warrior and another Jimmy Snuka. Then moving on down, these are kind of the miniature ones, the little minis that I had. They didn't have no other place for them, so I figured they fit in here though. They do look pretty awesome. Some are very detailed, some are just kind of bland. I do like those Rey Mysterios and Daniel Bryan ones. And that Taker and that RVD back there. And I believe I have the Crippler, Chris Benoit, somewhere here. I think I don't have him set up here because he's kind of dirty, so I need to wash him or clean him up. But yeah, we'll now move on to the next row. Again, we have another Big Boss Man. My favorite, along with that's Rick Steiner now, $1 Million Man. And right behind him, we have Mr. Perfect. Now you can see Mr. $1 Million Man does have his belt with him. And then we have another $1 Million Man as well. I'm forgetting his name right there. Hakeem. Yeah, Hakeem. And then we have Lex Luger. This is one of those weird figures that WCW made. I'm not sure what that is. It Galoob? No, it might be. But yeah. So the thing you notice with me is that I like, no matter who made them or what, WCW or WWF at that time, I like to collect them. So you can see one of the Honky Tonk Man right there with another complete set with his guitar. The awesome figure. Then you got the Big Show. Right behind him, Rick Steiner as well, that Galoob. I don't know why I didn't realize now they're like both making the same similar poses. But Big Show is going for that knockout punch. And then we got Sergeant Slaughter right behind. You can see his information in the back. And then we got Ric Flair, another Galoob. And right behind him, we have another Hedgehog, Jim Duggins. We'll move on to the second to last row. So, again, we have another Bushwhackers. We have Virgil back there, Demolition. I think that was just the extra one I have. You will see I have another one. Then we have Lex Luger, Kamala, also one of the creepiest ones at that time when he came out. Now, not so much. And then we got Rick Steiner. That's pretty awesome. That's one of my all-time favorite right there. That Macho Man. I don't know why I had him down there. Need to move him up. one of all time. He's just, the way he's dressed, classic. I think a couple. So the thing with these Hasbro is that, you know, they were plasticky, as I said, but, you know, especially when they made their fingers stick out or whatever, small little accessory, whatever it may be, a lot of time, many times, so when I had bought them, they were broken. They're really hard to, unless the buyer or the seller really took care of them, wrap them bubble wrap. You know, if you just get them and throw them in the tub, chances are one of those little small components will break from them. So I know that Macho Man has a couple of his fingers broken, which is unfortunate. But there's that 3 set of demolition. So now we'll move on to the last row. So this is more of the repeats that I have. You see the $1 Million Man back there, Earthquake, Jim Duggins, Typhoon back there. You see Brazar, Warlord, Samoans, and then you got another Ric Flair back there, the Mountie, El Torito back there, and you got the IRS, another, that's that Roddy Piper that one of his hands is broken off as well. And then the very bottom here is empty. We just haven't figured out what to put there yet. Not a lot of room back there. And I do have Mr. McMahon just laying there, so we'll need to find a spot for him. So that was that first set that I have. Now I'll zoom out so you can all see it. Like I said, it's not the complete set. I know I'm missing a few. The Nasty Boys, and there's a couple out there that I'm still missing, but I'll probably pick them up eventually. But for the meantime, this is a really great start. But I hope you enjoy this Hasbro collection. Let me see what kind of figures collection that you have for Hasbros, and let me know which ones I'm missing. And then again, if you don't know the name of that individual, please look him up. So that's kind of my complete collection of the Hasbro figures. Thank you all for watching. And like I say, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do like this video if you enjoy it. I'll continue making more